Have you ever hit a point so low that even your own future stopped believing in you? What if you lost everything? Your money, your purpose, even your will to wake up. This is the story of a man who was broken, addicted, alone, living out of his car. But instead of dying there, he made a choice. A violent, radical, uncomfortable choice. And that choice led him from the driver's seat of a beat-up car to the throne of a $200 million real estate empire. This isn't fiction. This is the true story of Grant Cardone, and by the time this video ends, you may start seeing your own rock bottom as your greatest foundation. Before the private jets, before the massive apartment complexes, before the bestsellers and the Instagram flexing, there was just Grant, just a kid from Louisiana. Smart, ambitious, and angry at the world. Grant Cardone wasn't always wealthy. He didn't come from connections, luxury, or Ivy League mentors. He came from a family that was struggling, and after his father died when he was 10, the financial pressure suffocated the house like a heavy fog. By 16, he was already flirting with danger. By 20, he was addicted to drugs. And by 25, he was flat broke, hooked, and hated his life. He worked as a car salesman, not because he loved it, but because it was the only job he could keep. Every day, he walked into that dealership with a hangover in his blood and a fire of self-hatred in his chest. He was smart enough to see what was happening, but too broken to stop it. He lost friends. He lost money. He lost the respect of everyone around him, and when he couldn't afford rent anymore, he moved into his car. 6 months. 6 months of eating garbage food. 6 months of sweating through Louisiana heat. 6 months of watching the world move forward, while he stayed parked. But here's the turning point. One day, he woke up in that car and said something terrifying to himself. If I don't change everything right now, I'm gonna die in this seat. After that moment in the car, Grant didn't go to a friend. He didn't call for help. He didn't post an inspirational quote on social media. He checked himself into rehab, but not just to get clean. He was already tired of half-fixes. This was a total shutdown. Like a man who sets fire to the old version of himself and watches it burn in the rehab facility, he was surrounded by other broken people, some older, some younger, all with the same haunted look in their eyes. But Grant wasn't looking to just get better. He was planning a comeback. He spent his days detoxing, his nights writing in notebooks about what he would do when he got out. If I survive this, he wrote, I'll become the most dangerous version of myself the world has ever seen. And when he got out, clean, exhausted, and broke, he did something most people would consider madness. He went back to the same car dealership, back to the same job, back to the same miserable routine. But this time, he was a machine. While others made 5 calls a day, he made 50. While others took breaks, he skipped lunch. While others talked about the weekend, he talked about market share. People called him crazy. They laughed behind his back. They said, he's obsessed. He's too intense. And they were right. He was obsessed. But obsession is what replaced addiction. And that obsession was building something no one else could see yet. He saved every penny. No trips, no parties, no distractions. Just discipline and a vision too big to explain. And when he finally had enough saved, he didn't buy a new car. He didn't move to a fancy apartment. He did something few people in his position would dare do. He bought his first real estate deal. Not a mansion. Not a skyscraper. Just a small multifamily unit. Basic, boring, stable. But it was his. And it was just the beginning. Grant's first property wasn't glamorous. A simple multifamily complex in a working-class neighborhood. It wasn't sexy, it wasn't big, and it sure wasn't something you'd brag about on Instagram, but to Grant, it was everything. It wasn't just real estate, he later said. It was control. It was cash flow. It was leverage. It was the one thing that didn't lie to me. And from that moment on, he became obsessed, not with flipping houses, not with gambling on the next hot deal, but with owning income-producing assets that gave him freedom. While others were chasing quick hits, he was chasing stability. While others were bragging about flipping a home for $30,000 profit, Grant was calculating how much passive income that money could have produced every single month. For Life. He repeated the process. He bought a second property, then a third, then 10, and every deal was bigger than the last. But here's what made him different. He didn't use his own money. He learned how to raise capital, bring in investors, and scale through partnerships, all while keeping control. As the years passed, he created Cardone Capital, a real estate investment firm that would eventually manage over $4 billion in assets. Yes, billion with a B. The same man who once slept in a beat-up car in Louisiana now owned entire apartment complexes across the U.S. He built an empire of 10,000-plus rental units with a monthly cash flow that most people don't even dream of. But he didn't stop there. Grant started writing books. Books that didn't teach how to get rich overnight, but how to get obsessed, stay disciplined, and build wealth like a savage. He became a speaker, a mentor, a force. But deep down, he never forgot the car, the sweat, the fear, the silence. And that's what made him dangerous. He wasn't fueled by greed. He was fueled by what it felt like to be invisible. Today, Grant Cardone flies in private jets. He walks stages in front of tens of thousands. He signs books with gold pens and closes real estate deals worth more than most people will see in their entire lives. But if you ask him the secret to his success, he won't say luck. He won't say connections. He won't even say money. He'll say one word: obsession. It was obsession that pulled him out of addiction. Obsession that got him off that dealership floor. Obsession that taught him how to multiply one property into thousands. But more than that, it was humiliation, hunger, pain. Pain was his ignition. Obsession was his fuel. And discipline was the wheel he never let go of. Again, to most people, living in your car is a failure. To Grant, it was the invitation. An invitation to lose everything, so he could finally build something that couldn't be taken away. He stopped chasing comfort. He started chasing control. He stopped escaping reality. He started designing it, and every time someone told him to slow down, he remembered what it felt like to wake up sweating in the back seat of a car, with nothing but doubt in his chest and a steering wheel in front of him that led to nowhere. You have no idea what you're capable of, he says, until you're forced to become it, or die trying. Maybe you're not sleeping in a car. Maybe your rock bottom looks different. But if you're watching this, it means there's still fight in you. And that fight, that's all you need. You don't need the perfect moment. You don't need approval. You just need to decide. Decide that the pain stops being your prison and starts being your power. Because the greatest empires aren't built from comfort. They're built from people who refuse to stay parked in the middle of their own lives.